Architectural development symbolizes a country's economic growth. If you saw Dubai a few decades ago, you won't be surprised by today. They turned a desert into a tourist and economic center where people come from around the world. However, the craze of architectural progress has led to certain unavailing incidents as well. Here are the world's most pointless megaprojects. In today's video, we will talk about the top 10 useless and expensive megaprojects in history. But first, I just ask you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with new content. The Yucca Mountain. Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository began construction to treat nuclear waste from U.S. power plants. Yucca was chosen because of its tiny population and nuclear waste-absorbing mountains. Yucca residents opposed the plan. Their biggest concern was polluting Yucca's water sources. Yucca Mountain design started in the 1980s. In 2002, the President and Congress chose Yucca Mountain, Nevada, for this facility. The U.S. stopped funding the megaproject in 2010 as resistance grew. The federal court approved renewed work in 2012, but no development has occurred. Yucca is a billion-bone megaproject that failed. 9. The Superconducting Supercollider. The Desert Ron was supposed to be the world's largest particle accelerator. If built, it would have had 3 times the power of Geneva's Large Hadron Collider. What's a particle accelerator? A particle accelerator uses specialized electromagnets to accelerate protons or electrons to near light speed. When charged particles collide, new matter is created. Without such gadgets, the Higgs boson and top quark wouldn't have been discovered. Both discoveries have helped us grasp the universe's beginnings. After 4 years of lobbying, Congress approved $4.4 billion for the supercollider in 1983. Waxahachie, Texas, construction began in 1991. 24 kilometers of tunnel and access shafts were excavated, and 18,600 square meters of supporting buildings were built. The project's total cost had increased to $12 billion. About $100,000 was recklessly spent on Christmas parties, company lunches, and office plants. This, combined with other countries' lack of enthusiasm and America's large investment in the International Space Station, led to the project's cancellation in 1993. 8. The Darien Scheme. This is a terrific failed project. The Darien Scheme probably changed Scotland's whole history. Scotland tried to create a colony in Darien and build a trading route between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans in the 1690s. At this historic juncture, although England and Scotland shared a monarch, they were still essentially independent when it came to questions of politics and economics. Under the English Navigation Acts, Scotland was considered a foreign country and couldn't profit from England's commercial deals with the rest of the world. When the notion of a Scottish East India Company was proposed in 1695, plans were quickly formed and implemented. So popular was the scheme that Scotland invested around £500,000, which equated to about half the available national capital. It was with tremendous excitement that the first 1,200 passengers made a ship for Darien from Leith Harbour on July 12, 1698. Excitement was short-lived. Incorrect accounts from sailors and pirates led the colonists to assume Darien was a great place to build trade lines. Darien was a harsh, mosquito-infested region with few food sources. 400 of the initial colonists died in 7 months, and the rest were sick. 7. The St. Francis Dam. Mulholland, who planned and worked on the Los Angeles Aqueduct, seemed like the ideal option to lead this project. This 233-mile structure required 4,000 employees and has been compared to the Panama Canal. The dam was completed on May 4, 1926, as part of a reservoir for Los Angeles. It's 200 feet tall, 700 feet long, and covers 600 acres. It can hold 12 billion gallons of water. The world's largest arch dam. A daily examination revealed the dam leaking murky water less than 2 years later. This suggested foundation issues. Mulholland was summoned immediately. Upon arrival, he determined that the leak wasn't coming from the foundations. At 11:58 p.m., most of the dam broke, sending a tidal wave of water that wrecked 1,200 homes, slaughtered thousands of livestock, and killed more than 450 people. The inquiry report would state that building and operation of a big dam should never be left to the exclusive discretion of one man, no matter how eminent. The assessment said the St. Francis Dam collapsed owing to faulty foundations. Despite being cleared, Mulholland believed he was responsible until his death in 1935. 6. Donald Trump's proposed wall. Former President Donald Trump's 2,000-mile border wall with Mexico is a failed megaproject. Trump campaigned on a huge, beautiful wall. He added this wall would stop the influx of illegal immigrants and drug dealers. He also vowed that Mexico, not the US, would pay for it. Midway through his campaign, he shortened the wall by about 1,000 miles, and by his State of the Union speech, it was much more than 500 miles. Calculating the kilometers of new wall Trump and his government built depends on the definitions of new and wall. Before he became president, there were 654 miles of border barriers. Trump claims to have erected 452 miles of new wall, although most of it replaces old obstacles. The new wall is 80 miles long. It only covers 40 miles or 64 kilometers because it includes major and secondary structures. Mexico has contributed zero cash to this project, leaving American taxpayers to cover the rest. Even with a replacement wall, this amounts to $33 million per mile. The Great Wall of China reportedly cost $13 million per mile to build. Well, do you like what you are seeing so far? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep watching because you don't want to miss what we have at the number 1 spot. 5. Interstate H3, Hawaii. The Interstate H3 highway on Oahu, Hawaii, experienced many problems. This technical feat was first proposed in 1960, but environmentalists, residents, and strict environmental laws stopped it. In 1986, Congress erased all hurdles and began building the 24-kilometer roadway. It connects Pearl Harbor Naval Base / Hickam Air Force Base near Honolulu to Kaneohe Marine Corps Air Station on the East Coast. Due to delays and other obstacles, the design cost 5 times the construction budget. The H3 highway is a treasured interstate. $1.3 billion, or $80 million per mile. The design failed. For Ciudad Real Central Airport, Spain. Spain consistently ranks among the most traveled nations in Europe. As a result, a new field at Ciudad opened in 2009 to reduce traffic at Madrid Airport. The field, which cost roughly €1.1 billion to build, can accommodate 20 million passengers at once. One of the 5 longest runways in Europe was at Ciudad Airport. Madrid, Spain's capital city, is 200 kilometers away from the Ciudad Airport. Thus, a shortage of airlines as a result of a lack of passengers has worsened the state of the field. In the end, the Ciudad Airport, which was sold at a loss, proved to be an unsuccessful megaproject. 3. Naypyidaw Myanmar. Myanmar's new capital is Naypyidaw, sometimes called the Ghost City. Myanmar began building a new capital in 2002 to move it to the center of the country because Yangon's population is expected to treble by 2050. Completed in 2012, Naypyidaw offered colorful installations including hospices, services, good roads, shopping promenades, and gymnasiums, but many were hesitant to relocate there. Naypyidaw's lack of decent hospitals, schools, and roads to nearby cities depresses residents. Naypyidaw's poor population makes it a bad design. 2. Malaysia's Forest City. The Forest City is in Johor's Iskandar, Malaysia's Special Economic Zone. For 30 square kilometers, man-made islets were built in Johor near Singapore. Malaysia has received many foreign investments for its multi-billion-dollar megacity near Singapore. As 80% of Forest City's investors are Chinese, Malaysians have no desire to live there. The Malaysian PM has barred foreign investment in Forest City. Foreign investors withdrew, halting the building of Forest City. Forest City has 500 residents. This megaproject is a failure because construction can't be resumed. 1. Dubai Creek Tower. The design was unveiled in February 2016 and will cost over $1 billion. Its construction, which began with sword lines, was difficult. After palace construction began, it became difficult to get so many sword lines to the tower's 928-meter height. Skyscrapers must have at least 50% inhabitable space. Dubai Creek Tower is just 30% livable. The tower's construction is stalled and won't resume until 2022. This megaproject is currently a failing system. So, that's it for today's video. What do you think of the number 1 spot? Hit us up in the comments and let's chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for our channel so you never miss what's coming next from us. Thanks for watching.